Aha! Finally! Damn thing actually decided to work. Third time lucky anyway. So let's start properly. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah! Hurrah! The machine decided it was finally going to do what it was meant to do. If anyone is aware, apparently YouTube has been not doing live streaming today. Because I set two streams up and they both went and it said live streaming is not available at the moment. Yeah, so I'm here anyway now. Howdy do, Sam Yeller, how you doing? And Scotty Aquati and Rye, Wobble brother, how you doing? And Nabo, yeah, other stream still says waiting. I'd be about right then. And I don't know how to get rid of it. Yeah, it's YouTube playing silly sods. But yeah, hopefully people will find us here. I can't believe it's Sunday, so zero mental energy at work on tanks. I feel the pain. Got to do mine tomorrow. Or at least make a good start on them. And then I've got to go to work. So, yay. Do a shift at work after I've done a bunch of water changes. I'll just do the fry rack and the Shelly tank because that works out to 4 buckets and it's nice and easy. I mean, it's 1, 2, yeah, another 4 or 5 buckets and the rest will be done on Tuesday. But yes, water changes. Oh. Just open the kitchen door. Have a light's not on anyway. Never mind. Yeah. Good morning, Adele dearie. How are you? You red-headed ravisher, you. Yeah, it's kind of been one of them weeks where stuff's just gone wrong. Hopefully that's the 3 for today anyway. Next tank will have auto change system. I will not change the tank until it's filled. Yeah. Scotty's got me at work in 9 hours. Have I ever seen the show The Last Kingdom? Pass. I haven't watched TV in about a decade. And if it's on one of the pay-per-view thingies, like Netflix or Spammers and Prim or any of the others, no, because I refuse to pay stuff and I'm not going to enjoy. It's like, yeah. I might enjoy the program, but it's a case of paying however much, and then there's like one thing you want to watch. Imagine having a container with water and a smart plug and I wouldn't. No. Yeah, but if you're going to click a button anyway, why go smart plug? Just go plug. I haven't watched TV or movies legally in decades either. I just literally don't watch, and I don't feel I'm missing anything. It's there's a whole heap of interesting and entertaining content right here on YouTube. Aqui Quiet Flow with Smart Clean Soil. Yeah, not in any of them. or that. Or the other tank with bristle noses breeding in it. or the shrimp tank, or the Nanakara tank. It might work okay in the Shelly tank. Hello, Bob. How are you, sir? Been a while. Hope all is well with you and your gang of floofy friends. Hi, Donna. Hi, Andrew. And Boo. Whitened. Bob the. Oh dear. So yeah, been another one of those normal weeks, really. But if I, mwah, there you go, Donna. That's not getting passed on. Yeah, it's been kind of one of them days, weeks, months, lives. Now we have the saying at work: same shift, different day. But there we go. Now have a lipstick on the screen. Oh, bless. Go away, Lenovo. I don't want to install that silly update that makes the computer reboot. Lippy on the screen. Well, it's better. It's better to have Donna's lipstick on your screen than someone else's lipstick on your collar. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we say shift just in case there are customers around. Admittedly, we can swear in front of most of our customers, so it's not usually an issue. Although, sometimes someone will drop an F-bomb or a C-bomb in front of someone they probably shouldn't have, and there is apologising done. Evening, Ricky. How you doing? Yeah, so what have I actually been up to this week? Water changes, and then went for a 5-mile bike ride on Monday and got like 4.5 miles through it and found out the road was closed because the water main had burst in the middle of town. Thankfully, it affected me a lot less than it affected people who were driving cars, because I was just able to nip through the pub car park and get around it. Streams posted last evening. Tennessee Fish Mafia is a go this evening. Again, apologies, because I will be going before the stream, Bob. Not during, although you have, I've said it many a time, you have one of those voices that would be perfect for calm audio books to just send people off. Howdy, Linkbot. How you doing? Interesting news. Ooh, interesting news is always interesting. It's got to be more interesting than what's actually in the news. Although what I've seen of the news lately, it seems to be Singists complaining about empty plastic water bottles being thrown in their direction. These people need to go back to the 70s and the 80s when it was full glass bottles full of a yellow substance getting thrown at them. Or if you went to a G.G. Allen concert, yeah, it was brown. Yes, that's Sammy Boy there, yellow, with the link to the Tennessee Fish Mafia live stream. Always entertaining and fun. Come on, Nabo, tell us your news. Yeah, if you're not familiar with G.G. Allen, Allin, yeah, it's probably best to stay that way, to be honest. Yeah, bodily fluids and not so fluids are a fairly common occurrence. Ooh, new fish food line from Aquion. Zero fish meal, zero fish products. Interesting. Avoids the use of shark in aquarium food. No fish meal, no fish oil. Cool. Yeah, I'm all for not using shark in anything, other than keeping the number the fish in the ocean under control, or for keeping people out of the ocean because they're scared of them. I'm not necessarily scared of sharks. I'm scared of water, so no, I'm never going to get attacked by a shark. For vegetarian fish, yes. Yes. Vegan fish, like the betters that vegans get, and then wonder why their better won't eat the food, or why they get really ill and die really fast. It's an insectivore, and you're feeding it plants. Howdy, Mr. Moist Hose. How you doing? Hope all is well. The insect line, first note, also avoids fish oil. Well, we use fish oil with mercury, and then, yeah, we can get it in coconut. As long as it's not got Freddie Mercury in it, we're okay. Perhaps that's a reason why most fish keepers are nuts. It's all the mercury we handle in the food on a daily basis. Deal with sharks and nothing more frightening than a piece of seaweed touch your leg in the ocean. I can imagine. Yes. Even just a friendly fish just nudging you would probably be a brown Speedo's moment. Won't it still be considered vegan if you eat herbivores? Exactly. I mean, those silly herbivores, right, they're dangerous because they eat all the food that the vegans want. Yeah, eating carnivore is non-veggie. We don't really eat too many carnivores, do we? I mean, sure, there's some species of fish, or they're piscivores. Because obviously the main meats we eat are not, are herbivorous. Because cow, pig, duck, goose, turkey, chicken, sheep, goat. Yeah, probably the closest thing we get to eating a carnivore would be some of the fish, like salmon or trout, which are insectivores, and when they get big enough, piscivores. Yeah, conger eel, if we eat eel, yeah. Dogfish. Cod aren't carnivores or piscivores, they're detrivores. Cod just eat stuff off the bottom of the ocean. Big problem is that people that eat the whale, shark, dolphin, etc., don't die off quick enough to stop it from happening. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much all animals will go for protein where they can get it. I mean, horses will quite happily eat mice or ducklings or baby chickens. It's a higher energy food source. Yeah, there are videos of horses eating chicks. Excuse me. Is this the food? Look like Aquion Tropical could possibly be, although not available in the UK as we don't have Aquion stuff. There's a couple of bits, but it's not a big brand over here. What's the one we normally get instead? Aqua. I've got this flake somewhere. Aquarian, that's the one we get. Probably the same thing. Haven't had horses for very long because horse meat is not available here. Which is a shame because horse tastes really nice. It's nicer than beef. Oh, thank you, Andrew, for becoming a Zach friend. You absolute member, you. Flake granule goldfish better and tropical versions, and they're all basically the same thing. I'm guessing just in slightly different shapes. All with something that contains basically red food dye to make the colours pop more. Which, if you're doing an insectivorous food, then you may as well just put cochineal beetle in it, because that's where red food colouring comes from. Yes, random factoids. I'm getting good at confusing people at work with random facts. Say something and they just turn around and look like, how the hell do you know that? Or, how, what? You then have to open the Google foo up and go, look, told you. Huh? I mean, basically everything we class as weeds in gardens in the UK is actually medicinal. Mine didn't. Whale sharks have how many rows of teeth? Is that one where they've got none or where they've got bloody hundreds of them? Is it they've got lots and lots of tiny, tiny little teeth, which are good for crunching small crustaceans? They also have teeth on their eyes. Well, kind of sharks have teeth all over their bodies with double denticles. Yeah, don't forget to do the algae rhythm stuffs. Yes, head back out all the way and come back. It does appear that YouTube is playing silly beggars today. Ding ding. Yes, ring the bell. And apologies for not really uploading much this week. I did manage a short on Thursday, but and yeah, you kind of think Sharpe, you're just looking at a tree, but you know, that tree's been around since the 1540s. Well, people were holding meetings there in the 1540s, so I reckon that tree deserved a short. And it was an excuse to stop off for a ciggy on what was quite a long bike ride. That was about 9 miles in, so not even halfway. Yes, the short for this week, or the video completely, was, yes, Ket's Oak, where the Ket's Rebellion was planned. Which I also have a video on. You can watch that afterwards if you want to know more about it. Yes, do the YouTube things. Contains lysine. Cool. Oh, Comcast. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so water changes work. No new baby fish, no new deaths I've noticed. I mean, I say no new deaths, but when you got this many, it's hard to keep count. There's probably been a limia got eaten or baby bristlenose. Hey, what's up? Bonsoir, Angelique. How the devil art thou? Oh, ça va? Oh, Bob's been a member for 18 months. Thank you, Bob. Every bit comes in useful, especially the cost of everything just keeps going up over here. I am so glad I don't have a mortgage right now, because those are going through the roof. And all the luxury people, the businesses that sell luxury stuff are all going, oh no, why are our sales dropping? Because people can't afford it. I mean, are you going to go for a Five Guys and pay like 10, 12, 15 quid for a burger and chips? Or are you going to go to the chippy and get jumbo sausage and chips for 4 quid? And I'm like a much bigger portion. Pork pies have gone, oh dear. We need to get that brought up in Parliament, that. It's like the free milk for schools. There should be free pork pies for slightly overweight middle-aged men. One a day. That's what I say. Do we have Hot Pockets? Not really, no. As far as I understand, a Hot Pocket is basically like a sandwich that you stick in the microwave or a toaster to heat up, and then so we just make our own cheese toasties, or cheese on toast, or are you a little bit drunk, Angelique? Have you been on the vino? Evening, O&E. How you doing? Hot Pockets kind of like our meat pies. Ah, right. Yeah, we kind of have a similar thing. Now we'll get like the ginsters or the pucker sort of slices. Nope, not drunk. Oh, other stuffs. Fair enough. Good place to be. I'm used to those kind of feelings. Let me know when you decide you want a new pizza. Fried rice and had General So last night. Do me for a bit. Yeah, Ginsters are crap, but you take what you can get. There isn't a Greggs in Attleborough, and I don't trust our baker that much. So yeah, I'll grab a couple of Ginsters pasties or slices. Yeah, there's usually a bit of gristle in one of them, but I fill a hole. But the real trick to make Ginsters better, sorry. Remember your T's, Sharpe. Go over the one end of it, open it up, and then get your ketchup or mayo or mustard or whatever, and squelch a load in the middle, and improves them no end. If you've not tried the pucker slices, give those ones a go. They're not bad, and they're all better than the Pork Farms ones because they're bloody horrific. And Sainsbury's do jerk ones as well. I don't know if Levi Roots has got anything to do with them, but it's like jerk beef, jerk lamb, jerk chicken, jerk veg. Demonetized for saying jerks too many times. Yeah, on the general level, it's pork pies, Ginsters and pucker are about there, and then home baked is somewhere up here. Yeah, they're not the greatest, but they're edible. I say this as someone with very little sense of taste. Every time you're drinking Guinness now, you have to remember you used to make that with fish livers just because they thought it was a good idea. Yeah. Which is probably where all the iron in Guinness originally came from, would be the fish livers. But I've not Ginsters, yes. Slightly different thing. Because I had Ginsters on Thursday. Did I? Or was it Wednesday? One day this week I had Ginsters. Last time I had Guinness would have been 21 years. Yeah, over 21 years ago. Was the last time I had a pint of Guinness. Might be why I'm pale. lack of iron. Mind you, the amount of Guinness I was drinking back then, I'm surprised I didn't rust. You know you've drunk too much Guinness when you get the I've drunk too much, where you shout Ralph, pray to the porcelain god, that kind of thing. When it comes out black with a white head on it. And it's basically coming out as pure Guinness. You know you drunk a bit too much of it. And that's not a good hangover. I mean, nothing beats a scrumpy cider hangover. But do I have spray bars? Do I have experience? I'm not at the moment, but I have had. It just sprays the water at 90 degrees to the direction it normally would, in my opinion. It doesn't really achieve much. I suppose it will break up the flow slightly. So if you're using a silly, powerful canister filter in a tank that's too small for it, you're using an FX6 on a 10-gallon because apparently you have to get the right amount of biomedia in it. Then yeah, spray bar will break it up. Yeah, might help with either CO2 or just gas exchange because you would. I mean, this is if your filter outflow is outside of the tank, above the water, as it were. But all my filter outflows are below water level, so I just aim them up so they get ripply on the surface, and it makes pretty patterns with the lights on the floor. But yeah, I don't really have problems with oxygenation in any of the tanks. It's only when the filters start getting clagged up and slow down that. And my general warning is like fish come to the top and they're gasping. It's like filter needs cleaning. Yeah, so I had one on the little dinky filter that's actually in there now. It was in the blue shrimp tank. Oh, actually, there it is. There is the filter. It was outside the tank. It would flood the room. Exactly. That's what canister filters do. Oh, where's the plug? Yeah, there's a spray bar that plugs in there. So instead of the water coming out that way, it goes out that way. And yes, that is dead algae all over that. One tank's got a spray bar, the other has a bubble wall. Yeah, if you want extra or need extra oxygenation or gas diffusion, then yeah, it's a usable tool, is what it is. It's not a necessity. You can get around not having one, as I do. But the thing that makes me scratch my head is I need a more powerful. I'll get a more powerful filter. Okay, you buy a more powerful filter. Those bubbles you got coming up. What's that airline attached to? Oh, an air stone. Why don't you just get a sponge filter? It'll do exactly the same, and it will add filtration. What? Or ye oldie box filter that's hiding down in the back corner of that tank. Circulation pump and a piece of spray bar. Yeah, so that'll do the trick. It's just moving water is all. You could also go with a little mini power head. That'll do the same kind of thing. I say air stones are fun. If people like the bubbles coming up, great. I mean, I find the noise kind of annoying, but I've got used to it, and I sleep down here with all these tanks going, so it's not bother me anymore. But yeah, it just seems to me that if you running air in a tank, why not run it through a filter so you get two birds with one stone kind of thing. Don't need the added filter and the extra swim space. I call the air stone something I bet no one in the world calls it a fizzer, a blowy rock. Um, yeah, well, I mean, it's so with the sponge filters. If you want the bottom free for bottom dwellers, and get one of the sponge filters that suction cups to the side of the tank. You can then have it as high up in the tank as you like. Um, I know some people who actually have their sponge filters high enough up, suction cup to the glass, that the water actually comes out the top of the filter and flows. So the bubbles don't actually hit the surface of the water; they come straight out and into the air. So you don't get any noise other than the water tinkling, which just makes me want to pee all the time, or makes me worry that something's leaking. Running water is a sound you don't want in a fish room. You can't spell it. Just the sound. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to say that, Ricky, because well, go on then. It's going to be murdered and wrong, but a budgie. Yeah, little wooden marine fizzers are fun. Yeah, dreams the other night, big tank sprung a leak. Hate the noise. Yes, hearing water running or dripping, noises you don't want, or when everything goes silent. Yeah, don't get yo-yo loaches because it will take a while to get used to the noise. Um, Clown loaches make a clicking noise when they're happy and they're feeding, and that's fine because their clicking noise is kind of dull, deeper. Yo-yo loach's clicking noise sounds like glass cracking. Literally, if you hear a yo-yo loach click, it sounds like the glass is cracked, and then it's like, and you're hunting to see which tank has got a crack in it, and then you realise it's the bloody loaches. Hob filters, yeah. Another one uh, gets clogged up. Chances are it's going to overflow everywhere onto the floor. Here, a yo-yo dove. Yes, lots of doves around here. Doves, fat pigeons, blacky birds, sparrows, all the other stuff. I did have. Now sometimes go to get in bed, and you'll find a spider or something like that in bed, and it's like, ugh, go away, splat. I went to get in bed last night, and there was a frog. And I don't mean a tropical an African dwarf or something. I mean garden frog, and it was only a little froglet. It was one of this year's ones. I was sitting there, I get in bed, and I'm looking at the duvet. I'm thinking, what's that on the duvet? And then it hopped. Like, oh, for crying out loud! But it was years longer. So bougie. Started when we're drunk and working on aquarium. I forgot it's called. Give me the bougie. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we've all forgotten what things are called and called them something weird. You're not going to find Cinderella here. I mean, might find Sin, but no Dorella. Um, but yeah, I'll say it was only cute little common English frog. there's hundreds of them out there. So it does happen. Happens from time to time, but they normally just sit by the back door and wait for it to stop raining, then hop out again. This one thought it'd come in and have an explore. So there might be others in here, but you know, I'd rather have a frog hopping around than I would a fly or a spider. That's for sure. You're lost, aren't you? Just a little. But thankfully, he was a relatively friendly little froggy, so when I picked him up, he didn't do anything untoward. Literally just sat in my hand and was like, "Oh, it's you. Hello." Come back, put him out the back door, and off he hopped. The frog ate the spider that was there. Yeah, probably. Well, it's the weird thing here. If you get spiders coming in the house, they're big. I mean, I say big, I mean big by UK standards. You know, wolf spiders that generally are, you know, around about that. But I mean, they can get, you know, that kind of size, or you get the long-legged ones, and you know, although when you see them, they feel about that big. Ghost it, you wouldn't touch a frog. The one thing Zach was scared of was froggies. Thank you very much, Bob, for the $10 super chat. Yeah, I was going to say hold my Fosters. Yeah, I don't want to see Australian spiders. Thank you very much. I've seen plenty of them. But yes, thank you very much, Bob. As I always say, always appreciated, never expected, and we'll go somewhere useful. Quite possibly bike upgrades. Foster's is gross, that's why we export it. Yeah, and for some reason Brits drink it. I wouldn't say, you know, I mean, Foster's is that bad, it's like American beer. By which I mean best drunk warm and flat. Because then you have one mouthful, go and don't drink the rest of it. Never met a spider my shoe didn't win a fight with. Grew up with the shed outside and the window is filled with black widows. Yeah, technically we don't have black widows in the UK, but we do. False widows are here now as well. I think brown recluses have also made it to the UK. So yeah, it's the small ones you've got to be scared of now. I'm not. Although technically, what we have, I forget the real name for it, the money spider is a direct cousin of the black widow. Now, the money spider literally is like, you know, teeny. But it has the same venom as a black widow. Luckily for us, their fangs are so small and their jaws are so weak that they can't penetrate human skin. So they physically can't bite you. You know, they'll. There are plenty of spiders that my shoe lost to shake it off and look at you like, oi, and chase after you. Yeah, those are called Sydney funnel webs. The red back. Ricky's like, yeah, I got pet black widows and recluse, but yeah, recluses are nasty. Cause necrotic damage in my hand. Yeah, this is why you don't have pet spiders. Spiders live outside. Why they can't be more like Bigfoot and just stay away from humans completely, I don't know. Marit, my darling, my love, how are you? Big huggles. How are you, my dear? Yeah. Now, I mean, I like most animals. There ain't many that I'm definitely not a fan of, but spiders are one of them. Not too big a fan of centipedes either. I know you got an older, so we need to do something, don't we? All together now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marit. Happy birthday to you. Yay. And yes, I know I murdered that. I always murder it, but you know, you're welcome, me dearie. A mwah, big birthday kiss. And gents, it's rude to ask a lady her age. We'll go with Marit is 18 again. Or is it 21 again this time? I can't remember. Why not make a Noah's Ark kit pair of everything? Humans, I'd leave the humans out of it. Yeah, North Sentinel. Yeah, only wild humans. Yeah, yeah. Good luck getting to North Sentinel Island and grabbing a couple of people, though. You'll probably get shot with a bow and arrow on the way. If you're not familiar with North Sentinel Island, it's a small island off the coast of India, I believe, which is a no-go area. It's literally legally you cannot visit it because the small tribe of people who live there haven't been infiltrated by the modern world. They don't like outsiders, and yet they tend to kill anyone who goes anywhere near it. There was several years back now, Ricky will remember, there was a Christian missionary that tried to visit and convert them all to Christianity because that's the way these people, they need God. Yeah, he got shot with bows and arrows. Yeah, I think they found him floating in the sea a few days later. But yeah, we could do in more places like that. Places we could send people like Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak. Yeah, serves him right. Exactly. They've been doing fine for how many thousands of years without well, any Western religions. I'm going to assume they have some kind of belief system. Delulu, hope does float. Yes, it does. How you doing, Mal? Died on the beach and they dragged him back into the forest. Yes, I would probably ate him then. Religion, tasty. And they probably used the book he was carrying with him to light a fire as well. Oh, the irony there. I'm trying to think, did he get the Darwin Award or not? Because it's one of those where everyone, I'll say everyone, but it's known that that's what happens if you try and visit them. And he tried to visit them and then all surprised that he got murdified. And sorry, not allowed to say that anymore, are we? Um, unalived, I think, is the one we're supposed to say now. Yeah. Benchode means friend. Ah. So it's unalived, yes. Half of the tribe is killed off by the common flu. Yeah, exactly. Then they've not had our diseases, so they have no immunity to them. They don't confiscate super chats. They just remove the advertising, is what they mean when they say demonetize. So super chats, super thanks, and all that will still go through, but you won't get the adverts. Apparently, Simon Whistle has been having a lot of trouble with that lately on his Casual Criminalist channel. Very entertaining if you want to watch it. Bencho, that's what all my Indian friends call me. It's got to mean friend, right? No, they just think your name's Ben and that you're a chode. Oh, good. I had to go there. Yeah, it's a. Where was I? Yes, casual criminalist. If you enjoy your true crime content, good channel to watch. But yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'd be less surprised that Sam knew the Indian for that than friend. Tommy, how you doing, you handsome devil, you? Silver-tongued fox. Yes, it'd be. Yeah, I'd be more surprised if Sam did know the Indian for friend rather than sister molester. That's more likely. Let's be honest. What once we got past hello, goodbye, where is the toilet? 2 beers, please. What are the next things we want to learn in any foreign language? All the swear words. Alien Scotty, how you doing? And if you got a spare device, not doing anything, if you go Alien World Airsoft and stick one of his playlists on, because he's getting near his watch hours. So that's what we need. Oh, Magnum's here as well. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you. Yeah, so it's all fun stuff on Casual Criminalist. Don't watch Pedro Lopez one. Yeah, that one's still giving Simon nightmares. But yeah, of course, the problem is, with the subject matter he's dealing with, yeah, he's getting lots of demonetized videos. And Willie's here as well. How are you doing, sir? Big fella. God dear. Thank you very much. How are you? Oh, I'm all right. Life is life. Na 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 na. Yes. And also, if you need, you can watch Adele's stuffs as well. Watch fishies and hear a gorgeous sultry redhead. It's always good. Oh. And also, happy birthday to Paige. That was the other day, wasn't it, Scott? Or did I get that wrong? Oh, off to bed. Social cup is empty. Been social since Friday. Oh dear, that doesn't sound good. Have a good night, Marit. Enjoy your snoozies. And if you're still awake when I've done, send me a message. All Indian swear words have the same tone. Different languages, but the same tone. Yes. Oh, my Outlook account settings are out of date. That's probably because I've not used Outlook since I had the computer. That was in May. Oh well. And I said it in May too. What was it that was going on? I saw a post from her on FaceAche the other day. Or was that trip out somewhere with the boys? I can't remember. I knew there was something. And then there is Adele's channel with her Buy Me a Coffee link as well, and PayPal and Discord and all the other good stuffs. Two of my favourite boys just left in the old. You're not an old hag. Don't let anyone ever tell you that. You're gorgeous girly. And anyone says otherwise, I'll fight them. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Yeah. We'll gloss over that. Yes, I've got a really bad memory. Does Fish Fam link actually show my links? Pass. Nobody loves the sound of me singing. We know the reason why I don't get no copyright strikes when I do sing is because, pardon me, the computer doesn't even recognise it, or YouTube's algorithm, bots, whatever. They don't even recognise what comes out of this as singing, or a tune, or a song. So I get away with it fairly well. Yeah, I got a bit carried away with myself at work the other day and was singing along. Unfortunately, I was singing along to Noise by Nightwish, which is about 4 octaves higher than I can groan at. So, not algorithms, Sharpeisms. Sharpeisms are where I say weird things. So, like a plecklet, that's a Sharpeism. Every time I sing a love song, I get demonetized for hate speech. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I get why people who. Oh, of course, I always rock Nightwish. But yeah, me trying to sing along with Floor Jansen doesn't work very well. I'm just glad it wasn't Shoemaker that came on, because I think people might have actually put an ice pick through their eardrums, especially when it got to the Latin part at the end. I might be able to manage Troy's part, but certainly not the full soprano. That's not going to happen. Not without really tight trousers and a twist. Because I've got a low register and I've got a higher register, but I've got nothing in the middle. It goes from low to high, and there's just a massive gap. And it just no, it's at the end of Shoemaker. It's Laudato Si ad Astra, which is Latin for "Praise be to the stars," because the song is about Eugene Shoemaker, the guy who found the Shoemaker-Levy comet. He's got a crater on the moon named after him. Basically, the father of astrophysics. Not astrophysics, sky stuffs. Um, and yeah, his ruins. Some of his ashes are actually on the moon. He's the only person buried on the moon, technically. Readjust the underpants and try. It take more than a readjustment. No, the demon summoning is when I'm singing White Zombie, but then that's because parts of that are actually. Yeah, More Human Than Human by White Zombie. I can sing that one fairly well because that is very single tone the whole way through. But then I did kind of used to look like Rob Zombie crossed with Silent Bob, so there is that. Now I just look like Silent Bob before he lost weight. But no, I'm not actually losing weight, but I'm getting fitter, so I must be replacing the fat with muscle. Um, so I did 23 and a half miles on Thursday and felt absolutely fine afterwards. I mean, I did have a nap, but I'd have had a nap anyway. Yeah, Kevin Smith, pre-weight loss. I'm good on him that he lost the weight because he'll live a lot longer and hopefully continue making awesome movies. Or if not, just going on tour with Jason Mewes and talking about stuff they used to get up to, most of which involves Mewes being high as a kite. But there's another one. He had a massive heart attack. Yes, exactly. So that's why he did it. And Jason Mewes has now got himself straight because he was way off the rails. They just say he wasn't really acting like a stoner in Clerks and what have you. Have you seen Penn Jillette? I've seen him before. I know Penn was the big one in Penn and Teller, weren't he? The one that spoke. Yeah, I mean, Jason Mewes is still a space cadet. Yeah, he's taken so much stuff over the years that his brain he's still out there. He hasn't come back yet. I'm going to say 23 and a half miles. I did it 2 hours 10 minutes cycling time. Um, all just trying to get a bit fitter is all. First week in September I'm off, so I will do the Marriott's Way that week. Marriott's Way is 26 miles, and then it's another 19 miles to cycle home from the end of the Marriott's Way through Norwich city centre, out down the main road. Must be six. Ah, yes. Correcting the conspiracy theorist. We did a good job of that, Willie, but you won't find him here anymore. Cycling, yeah. I'm not going to walk that far. Jeez, not with my knees. I'm not. I'll quite happily walk 5, 6, 7 mile. That's not a problem, but my knees are shot, so cycling is a lot easier on them. Um, and then earlier in the year, as the others here will remember, I did the Boudica Way. Got a bit turned around a couple of times, which is Norwich to Diss, but on like the old trails and back roads and whatever. And that worked out 58 miles I did in a day. So for an old fat bloke who actually had a dose of heat stroke part of the way through it, did quite well. Half noon window liquor. Huh? How you doing? Favourite line from Porridge. What with my knees? I actually called someone a nerk the other day and they didn't know what I meant. Yeah. For those unfamiliar, Porridge is a British sitcom from the 70s, starring Ronnie Barker, set in a prison. Norman Stanley Fletcher. Why is the food on my head? That's just the random tub that I use for algae wafers. It is actually a Serra algae wafer tub, but why would I pay 13 quid for that tub full when I can pay 13 quid for that bag full? Obviously, bearing in mind the amount of algae wafers I go through. Yeah. But yeah, it does look like it's sat on my head, doesn't it? I promise you it's not. It's actually sat on top of the tank. But yeah, if there's one fish food you can guarantee I'll have lots of, it's algae wafers. Because my daily feeding for algae wafers, freshness. I don't give rotten, soggy wafers, of course. Oh yes, freshness. Yes. Well, they don't last long enough to be not fresh. Because I'll run you through what gets fed per day. 4 algae wafers, 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 6 algae wafers, 3 algae wafers, 2 algae wafers, 2 algae wafers, 1 algae wafer, 5 algae wafers. You said like that. When the doctor said, "Hurts want to do that," he said, "Don't do that." That's my bad Tommy Cooper impression. Looks like the melting has slowed down. Decided to goose feed the cycling tank. Good. Just cracked open a canister. Been a year or so. Use a Colt pre-filter. Wasn't that bad. I use a pre-filter on my canister, and it gets cleaned out every 2 weeks. How many will I feed? About 30 Corridoras. I wouldn't feed algae wafers necessarily to Corries. Decent sized pinch of sinking pellets or granules. Actually, one of my preferred. Do freshwater fish eat nori? Yeah, they'll eat nori. One of my preferred. Let's grab it. 2 of my preferred foods for Corries are the Fish Science Corridora tablets. They will stick on the glass, but I just drop them in. The also Fish Science worm pellets, and then flake pellets, granules, freeze dried Daphnia, whatever I happen to eat. Should we stick some food in here, shall we? Stay there while I'm up. Yeah, let's use. Actually, no. So here we go. A test. The new JBL Novo Color. Yeah, whatever's. Do fish eat them? Yeah, I think we can safely say fish eat them. We can also safely say there are far too many limia in that tank. Yeah, there's probably 20 Corries in there as well, so I don't worry about overfeeding. Because whatever the Corries don't, or whatever the limias and Happy Caras don't eat, the Corries and the Bristlenoses will finish off. You're a chunky girl, aren't you? You must be full of eggs. Oh, someone will eat them later. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Yeah, it is the Sarah algae wafers or tub. But go back to the big LFS. They got an amazing range of frozen foods I'm going to try. I steer clear of frozen foods because I don't have a freezer. If I had a freezer, I probably would buy some frozen foods. Keep an eye on the flow. Change your pre-filter once in a while. Not the canister. I mean, I found, and the canister I got is on a small tank-ish that's not exactly heavily stocked. I mean, it's got a pair of bristle noses, a pair of pelvic acromis, some babies, and after a week, the pre-filter was clagged solid. So, yeah. No, it's not because of algae versus protein based or anything like that. It's just if I put algae wafers in there, the cories aren't going to get them anyway. The bristle noses will be straight on them, and once the bristle nose just plants itself on top of an algae wafer, nothing else is getting it. So I feed up the stuff so that they don't go hungry. I'm not that technical when it comes to feeding my fish. I feed different stuffs every day, which is why I've got a big selection of food down there. So they get all the various different things spread out. Difference in oatmeal, porridge, and grill depends how much water is used. Well, in that case, you're making it wrong. Use milk. See you later, Ricky. Bros turned up with the booze. Jeff don't feed frozen either. Yeah, I mean, it's not because I don't agree with feeding frozen, or I don't want to, or I'm not allergic to bloodworms or anything like that. I just literally don't have a freezer, so going straight. Nighty night, Willie. 6 o'clock check in the morning. Hope to talk soon. Yes, always good to catch up, Willie. Have a good one. Stay safe. And 6 o'clock, oof, that's too early. I think I'd probably stay up and then do my day work and go to bed after straight away. Some days it's 3, some days it's 5. Ooh. But then, say the hours I worked would probably mess you up. So, yeah. It's. I normally finish at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And I only do 6-hour shifts. My previous job used to finish at 11 o'clock at night. That's not fun. How many do you think I should be feeding? I'll probably go 6 or 8 standard sort of size algae wafers, if that's what you're going to feed your cories. But yeah, see, and it all depends on how much natural food is in the tank, because as those who do it regularly, cover your ears now. We're talking gravel vacking, so I don't gravel vac. So there's a lot of mold and gunk in the substrate, which means there's a lot of stuff living in there, which the cories love rootling about for. Sometimes 3, yeah, I always, I always overfeed, let's be honest, but it all gets eaten. Yeah. What doesn't get eaten gets eaten by whatever's living in the substrate and then gets pulled out as poop by the filters. it's not really something to worry about overly if you're doing weekly water changes and filter cleans. You can get away with a lot more. Um, that reminds me, that is a video I've got to make. Uh, might go into the Sharpe rants folder. We're talking about the don't do water changes, don't clean your tank, leave it, that kind of thing that seems to be going on at the moment. Do less maintenance. Let's get a maintenance-free tank, which can work. It can be done, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, to me at least, in my way of thinking, Yazi uses an ice pick. That wouldn't surprise me. They're sending Yazi fusses. Of course, Willie. I've got to get energy from somewhere. Definitely need a bubble. Definitely don't need a bubble wall. The limit your oxygen ain't enough when I feed it. Yeah, there's plenty of surface movement in there, even if it doesn't look it. Well, yeah, there's another escaped plecklet. I say plecklet, about 3 inches long. Oh well, never mind. You see, I've dropped that food in now. All the cories and whatever on the bottom going nuts trying to find it, where it's sunk. And yeah, bubble wall and the treasure chest. Oh yeah, treasure chest. The chest is cool, as is the fighting diver. I do like that one. But the only kind of weird ornament we have is we got Cookie Monster there. But that was a Christmas present or a birthday present from Nadine, so I kind of have to have it in the tank. And the Plex enjoy sucking on Cookie Monster. Is there such a thing as overfiltration? Not necessarily overfiltration. Again, this is just purely my opinion and my thoughts on the matter. There's only so much waste to pull out of the water. So as long as you've got enough filtration, by which I mean chunks of sponge, something that actually physically filters the water, to pick all the gunk up, then you've got enough. More isn't going to do anything else. It's just going to be a waste of time and money. More flow, again, you know, certain species, more flow is a problem. I mean, you know, stick an FX6 on a 10 gallon with a better in it and see what happens. You can certainly have not enough flow, but then if you stick a FX6 on a 10 gallon with Hillstream loaches, they're going to love it. But yeah, for filtration, yeah, as long as you've got enough, you've got enough. And when it comes to the size of, you know, the biomedia, I'm pretty sure most people are running more than they need, big time. Overfiltration, 150 litre sump on a 20 long tank, or yeah. I mean, I say it's different things, isn't it? High flow for certain species is a good thing. Low flow for other species is a good thing. But yeah, the actual filtration. And when you bear in mind that tank has got a sponge filter with a bit of sponge just about that long and about that diameter. one of those in it, and at the moment it has about 80 bristle noses in it. That's enough. Right. Yeah, the flow would become a problem. I mean, the overfiltration, all you're doing is adding bits that aren't really doing anything, in my view. Because I mean, that's not a dirty tank. But if I now stuck, there's nothing stopping me sticking another couple of U4s in there. And yeah, there'd be more flow and more filtration, but it wouldn't be any cleaner or different. It can. It's overfiltration is simply adding more media. It's whatever, whether your choice is floss or sponge, that's the actual filtration. Um, no, it's not just oh no, that's mechanical. You need biological. Yes, it's biological too. I'm not running any media, posh bits of ceramic or gravel or glass slag or whatever in any of my tanks. They're literally all running on. Actually, no, sorry, there is a little bit in the center section of the U4 in there, and the rest has just got a bit of floss in it. And that needs cleaning out regularly because it gets gunked up, and then it gets gunked up enough and the flow reduces. So again, just pull the cartridge out that's got the media in it and just give it in a bucket of water and chuck it back in. Got the hob, a canister at silver 200 and one of my baby canisters are 20 litre, keeping the BB alive. Yeah, in 34 gallons, so 200 litre is 50 gallon. So yeah, I mean, you know your fish, and you know fish keeping well enough, Adele, that if there was something wrong, you would see it, you would know it. You go, yeah, that's not right. All the fish are hiding up in this corner because that's where there's no flow. Exactly. I think part of obviously it's marketing. The people who sell filters and they sell the medias and the stuffs and the pads and the blah 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 blahs. They want to sell you more, and they want to sell you bigger ones because they make more money. And it's been perfectly proven that you don't need all that. I mean, under gravel filters work perfectly fine. We kept fish for donkey's years using either under gravels or just, as Michael from Michael's Fishing calls them, China filters. Absolutely fine, no problems. And as we all know, all my tanks are overstocked. And I don't have, touch wood. Actually, that is wood. I don't really have too many problems. I mean, excessive plant growth is one of the problems, but that's not really a problem, is it? Having to trim your plants every week or two, but this has got to the point where I'm chopping probably about a foot, 18 inches off the end of all the Rallisnaria every week. Overstocked on most, some that are empty with only plants and snails. Yeah. But you've got the snails in there, which means they're making the waste and they're keeping everything clean so you don't have to do anything. And when it comes to put new stock in, new fish in those tanks, you've not then got to worry about cycling it or doing water tests every day. You just check everything's okay, because you know, if you've got a tank that's been running for months and it's full of snails, that chucking a few extra fish in there ain't going to make a difference. Yeah. Yes, ammonia lock is the emperor's new clothes to me. Just another way to make you part of the cash. Exactly. What does ammonia lock do? Well, it takes the ammonia out of the water. Right. So then how's your bacterial colony actually going to fire up and start doing what it should do if you're taking all the ammonia out? I mean, if you pull all the ammonia, then technically you shouldn't get any nitrites or nitrates, in which case all your plants will die because they got no food. And phosphate remover I do kind of get. That one does make sense. And some of the nitrate remover type things. But that can be solved with doing a water change. And I'm sorry, manufacturers of nitrate removers, but you know what's a lot cheaper than buying your special nitrate removers? A few buckets of water, bit of dechlorinator, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, job done. High ammonia. I know the cause. You followed the fish around and scooped up their pee in the test tube. Yeah, I've done that. I have done that, literally. Tested for ammonia. That's come back rather green. We'll try a different testing kit of different tests. That one came back okay. Try another one. That one came back okay. Well, why did the first go back to the first one? That one comes back okay. Oh right, yeah. I just tested fish pee for ammonia. Yeah, no wonder. No fish in ammonia plants. But Wisteria in the sag is looking horrible. Anubias is Anubias is Anubias. Horn water's hanging in there. Started using Flourish, so yeah, any kind of fertilizer will help. Bladder snails have babies. Yay! Baby snails. Activate charcoal, which will pull fertilizer out of the water. And oh yeah, I did see it scroll past. And congratulations on getting Nanocaras, Jeff. I'm sure you'll love them just as much as I do. Nanocara Anomala. That means Sam can have a drink. 2 actually. And howdy, Keith. What up, B? Charcoal does little about pulling ferts out. Ah, fair enough. So I just don't use charcoal in any of my tanks. Or a couple of grades of sponge and a bit of floss. That's all I need. Oh, Tommy's shed has. It's oh dear, you'll be shivering, Tom. Only down to 91 from 104. Yeah, rather you than me, buddy. Old myth. Yeah, but I say it pulls chemicals out of the water, so it kind of stands to reason it might. But so, if anyone wants to know why Tommy's tanks don't get ick, they're too bloody hot. Got data. I'll trust you, Keith. Yeah. Again, putting in carbon so it removes the ammonia or whatever it's meant to do. That's just starving the bacteria so that when the carbon doesn't do its job anymore, the bacteria aren't there to take up. the ammonia. It's not actually needed. Yeah, I don't run it. And the pads that are in the Fluval U4 have got a floss side and a carbon side. That's just because how they're made. But, I change them when they fall apart, not when they not every month or whatever. Yeah, you got me. But yeah, I say literally, it's really not that hard to cycle or filter a tank. There's a lot made of it, and it really is rather simple. 46 to 47 regular. Yeah, I wouldn't even be going in there at that temperature. I'd be needing stand in the shower fully dressed, cold water coming out of it, soak myself, and then go straight in there just so that cool down a little. Filter with biomedia is all. I don't use any biomedia. Outside, oh jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Literally all I use, Keith, is sponge, bit of floss. Job done. Oh, yeah, Dan's looking forward to dealing with pigs rather than people. Not that there's a huge amount of difference when it comes to customers. How you doing, Dan? Yeah, sponges biomedia. Yes. I use biomedia as a term to describe the novelty shaped pieces of ceramic or glass slag or pumice stone or whatever the heck they're deciding is good these days. One more day to go. Last weekend in retail complete. Woohoo! I know you're not being a dick, Keith. Don't worry about it. I got I got thicker skin than that. If I couldn't take it, I wouldn't give it, would I? But yeah, it's no tomato, but yeah. Oh no. And to quote Trent Reznor, "Your God is dead and no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there." Um, I just rinse out and reuse the filter floss as well. Yeah, well, just got the because bucket brigade. So yeah, when I got the bucket full of water, I just smush out the sponges and smush out the floss, and then stuff it all back in the filters, and good to go. If anything, I go through sponges quicker than I go through floss. Uh, Box filter brigade down there as well. That that stream of bubbles is coming out the top of the box filter. Just turned it back in the US. Big shrimping. Look at him mowing the grass. Oh dear. No. Taking advantage of a dry day. I say that. It's been dry here mostly. Uh, about like 10 miles down the road, I absolutely threw it down. I just get the sponges either, like for the fluval filters, I just get the proper fluval sponges. It's easier, they're cheap enough. And for the others, I just get the sheets of the egg crate pond sponge. Because if you buy it for a pond, it's half the price as the same product if you buy it for a fish tank. So it's like three A4 sheet, three not A4, A3 sheets for less than a tenner. Have I got any left? Have I got any random bits of sponge kicking about? Now, there's the bag of filter floss that I've had for a couple of years. There must be some spongy in here. There we go. Yeah, if we can pull it out. Yeah, bit of sponge like that was what, £5 or £6. Bomb plant dealers, yeah. So you just got to look around and you'll figure it out. At different places, different people do the rip-off. Overfiltering to grow a massive amount of BB can be problematic if you have a BB die-off. Yes. And you don't grow more BB, you won't grow more bacteria with more media. You'll have enough bacteria to deal with the bioload of the tank. And they're not just going to grow for no reason if there's no food for them. Talking about them selling weeds or overpricing what they haven't. Well, yeah, we talked up the rain, didn't we? Here it comes. Raining now. Yeah, BB grows to the bioload. Yeah. If one small piece of sponge is enough, then adding 3 kilos of something from what's it called? I'm trying to think of a name of one of them now. Stuff pond gimp cells. You know, adding 3 kilos or £6 of that isn't going to increase your bacteria. It'll add weight. You'll add a ton of fish at once. Be careful. Yeah, I try not to do that. I mean, if I'm starting a new tank off, I'll put in a couple of fish at a time. So, for example, my newest tank, which isn't new now, it's a couple of years old, I started that out with a pair of cribs and cleaned out a couple of the pleco filters into it, and just, yeah, well, large fish dies and the bioload drops. Yeah. The other one people forget is KH. If you have a KH crash, then your bacteria will die as well. The bacteria needs KH. Which is, I think, where some people do have problems with getting a tank to cycle. It just never cycles or never holds a cycle, is because the water they're using is so soft that the KH gets used up real fast, and then boom, crash. Do a big water change, a little bit of KH back in the water, everything comes back to normal. Breathe a sigh of relief. A couple of months down the line, run out KH, everything crashes again. Not a problem I'm ever going to have, given how hard my water is. Polysperma, aka Hygrophila pink. Yes, I think it's banned in the UK as well. I've not seen it around anyway. But yeah, it's bad shit. Exactly. Yes. I mean, technically over here, hornwort you're not supposed to be able to get, but you can get hornwort quite easily. They just call it something else. And my pond is full of the stuff. Areas that are more plentiful as weeds in areas, yet sold for hundreds of dollars. I mean, it's not just the pond plants. When I was starting out, I bought an Ophiophogone. When I had one tank, and it was in the shop. It was in with the aquatic plants. And it looked really cool. I thought, that's awesome. I'll get one of them. Put it in the tank. Great. Within like a week, it was starting to not look too healthy. I thought, oh well, never mind. Maybe it's just melting. It started looking less healthy and less healthy and less healthy, and then it was gone. And then I did some research. Ophiophogone is not an aquatic plant. It's one that likes a boggy soil. We have lotus pods in the lakes in my area, but they're hard to collect because of the gators. Yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about lotus pods if there were gators there. I'd be like, nah, you can have them. You can keep them. That'd be fine. Although, speaking of lakes, I did watch an interesting video this morning where, I'm going to say interesting, there's someone owns a carp lake. Because yes, we have lakes dedicated to carp in this part of the world, and they were draining it down to do some maintenance, and they were showing all the places where the carp had literally dug pits in the bottom up to a couple of feet deep where they've been feeding, and so they had to be filled back in, and where they've been coming up under the banks by the island and just digging and literally undercutting all the banks, and the banks are starting to collapse. So it was interesting to see what's happening under the water without the water in the way. Many Ludwigia species are also endemic. Those swarmed by hornwolf years, similar to Valen Kabomba, head over heels. Gambusia are illegal in many states. Yeah. That's the mosquito fish, isn't it? And we don't get them over here either. I've not seen them anyway for sale in shops. But I mean, that's the same with a lot of aquatic plants. So is once they reach the top of the water, especially if they've got natural sunlight available to them, they go nuts. Not necessarily natural sunlight, but I've got in my shrimp tank, which I did remember to add a super red bristlenose to this week. Longfin, obviously. The Bacopa in that, it's the Bacopa compacta. When it's short, now when you first put it in there, it does nothing. It just kind of sits there. Maybe one shoot grows up, but as soon as it hits the surface of the water, it goes nuts. And now I end up cutting out about half, probably about a pint of it every month or so. Gambusia murdered some of the guppies. Yes, I mean, they're tiny little fish, but there's enough of them, they'll gang up on things. Or even just a couple, apparently. Yes, there's a baby longfin super red in with my shrimpies now, along with the sole remaining CPD and the sole remaining pygmy cory. And the sole remaining Embotetra is still in the Nanacara tank, which I've been. Obviously, I've been upsetting people on Reddit again this week when it comes to tank stocking levels. You cannot keep any kind of pleco in a 20-gallon or less tank. They grow too big. Um, I breed bristlenoses in a 15. I've got 3 clowns in a 10, and they're perfectly fine. You cannot keep them in there. They've been in there years, mate. I didn't think it'd probably be. I thought it probably not a good idea to mention these tanks to that person because their head would probably have exploded. Yeah. And my shrimp tank is a Baby Flex, which is a 9-gallon. I ain't got a problem sticking a bristly in there. As a business, I do not keep your crap knowingly. Exactly. Um, it's just easier and common sense, isn't it? Well, the thing with big tanks, Adele, is they tend to be deeper. And as we all know, light doesn't penetrate water that well. So you might find that it's just not enough light getting down to the bottom where they are, or possibly not high enough bio load, not enough gunk in there. 40 breeder is the best big tank. Yeah, 40 breeder is a cool tank. Oh yes, the better police. You cannot keep it in less than. Yeah, but it's not 5 gallons on Reddit, it's 10. You should use a 10-gallon tank. This was the problem. It was someone who had a Fluval Flex, 15-gallon. They had one giant better in there, and they wanted to know what else they could put in. There was like to eat a bit of algae and to just be another fish in there. So I suggested, well, you can keep a bristlenose in there or a couple of clown plecos, easy, not a problem. It was you can't do that. Oh no, bioload. Oh, death, carnage, destruction. I'm like, I'll breed them in them. At any one time, I might have 150 odd bristlenoses in a 15-gallon tank. And that's me understocking it. 40's a great ball python tanks. There we go. If I ever get a ball python, I'll get a 160-litre tank for it. Sorted. Sounds so much bigger when you put it in litres. Yeah, so that's if you're struggling. I know you can do fish keeping and plant keeping and all that, Adele. We know you can do that. So if you're used to small tanks and they always work well, the difference is that it's a bigger tank. And well, the surface area isn't the issue. So to me, it's probably got to be either the depth that the light's not penetrating far enough, yeah, or there's not enough gunk and food in there for everything to feed off. Liters or milliliters? Yes. I measure mine with digital vernier, the Guy system. Yeah, we convert centimeters to inches. Yeah, so we got so you measure it in inches, you convert that to centimeters, and then you say that's what it is in inches. Hello, Maloney Photography and Aquatics from Liverpool. I'm in Norfolk, so pretty much the exact opposite side of the country and a bit further south. How are you? Good to see you here. And welcome. Yeah, so ghost feeding might not hurt. You know my general answer, chuck a bristlenose in there. Be alright. Got a problem with your tank? Add more bristlenose. Now, who is going to remember the Sharpe rule for stocking bristlenoses? It's not inch per gallon. How many is it? Go on. First to get the right answer wins a bucket of kudos that I won from Blackie a while back and is still kicking around. What is Sharpe's preferred stocking density for bristlenoses? 61 years constantly with fishing tanks from this November. It was a 5 gallon and a 10, and it's Bob's been keeping fish for longer than most of us have been alive. And Bob was keeping fish in the womb. 20 cm is indeed 8 inches, but that is still below the Sharpe bristlenose stocking level. Set it up for Craig to send me some fish. It's probably a case of get some fish in there, then it'd probably be okay. So if we were in the same area, like like not the exact opposite side of the world, I'd send you a bunch of bristlenoses. Keep you going. And Jeff's been keeping fish since before I was an itch in my daddy's trousers. And Tommy's not even 2 years into it. It goes to show you can learn a lot fast. 10 pleclets per gallon. Yeah, nearly there. Howdy, Chris. Yes, we remember you. Yes, come on, look. Foot per gallon. That's the recommended stocking level for bristlenoses. Yeah. If you can see substrate, yeah, exactly. You need more bristlenose. That's foot per gallon. That's the way to go. I mean, I make it as a joke, but admittedly we've got a bit of a bacterial bloom going on in these ones at the moment, but that's because a certain floofy boy decided, this one decided to get up to his old tricks, and he's been pulling airlines off of pumps again. Keith just gave some bristlenoses away today. I could probably do with giving some away, but although I'm fairly low on stock of bristlenoses at the moment, I think I've got about 850. At one point, I was up to about 1,1300. So, planning on bristles from Craig, maybe some rams for the big tank. Just try and get it healthy first. I mean, I'd say if you dropped a bristlenose in there, or maybe a pair, because pair is always good. They would produce enough mess that they would keep the plants going and keep your cycle going. Bristlenoses are pretty bomb proof. I know I've had filters crap out on me, and the ammonia's been well over whatever the API tests for. When the test comes back and it's almost black, is that darker green? Yeah, the bristlenoses are fine. It must have been a day or two that the filter would clagged out or jammed up or something. I think it was a snail managed to get inside the filter and block the impeller. But Keith gives them away free. It's one of my sources of income. Bristlenoses are the reason I only work part-time. Because I supply the local area, basically. Feed them spirulina, cucumber, green beans, zucchini, what is left. Yeah. If you've had cauliflower, broccoli, anything like that, and you've chopped the stems off, just chuck them in a bristlenose tank. Now, I'll soon munch them. Bartered form, amplified up. Bartering is always good. Swapsy's rock. Zoltan's hooking me up with some bristlenose. Be my first bristlenose. Oh, you'll love Bristly's. Bristly's rock. There you go. Jeff will quite happily trade you some fish for some plants, Tommy. If you want bristlenoses, Jeff's got almost as many as I've got. Use a fork to sink them. Yeah, fork or I use teaspoons. Which is why, if some, because sometimes people do wonder why there are teaspoons sat in some of my tanks, and yeah, that's because that's what I used to just jab the courgette or zucchini with. About yeah, it did come as a bit of a shock when there was a live stream going on, and I had like one of the biggest import retailer wholesalers of fish in the UK, and so I asked them, how many bristlenoses do you keep in stock? And I said, well, in total across the various types, we keep around 100 to 150. And I was like, damn, I got 10 times that. And Tommy's going to look at the pleco feeder. Is that the what do they call it? The screw cumber? Basically like a screw thread that you just screw into the thing and hold it down. So September's only a month away, so we'll get you breeding bristlies, Tommy. Yeah, I sell fish all year, but I don't ship them. I catch them and take them straight to the LFS. In the UK, though, it's the shipping is just annoying. The reason I don't buy fish online is because the shipping costs more than the bloody fish do. Mary's wonderful, thank you very much, Bob. She's just broken up for the summer holidays from school. She works in a school, if you didn't know. So after a stressful last few weeks where basically everything that could go wrong did go wrong, she's looking forward to her 6 weeks off. And I don't blame her, because, yeah. And there we go. A link to Keith's site pleco feeder. Tommy is now working out what he can barter with Keith for a pleco feeder. Yeah, so today we were out getting bedding for Latte Bunny, some treats, and photographing a church and a chapel of rest. Howdy, M&C. How you doing? Hope all is well with thou. Is there any? You know what we haven't done today? We haven't looked at the stars of the show, have we? I've still got to sort out a black background for this tank. Oh, we are untangled. So, star number one. If I can get the camera in the right area. There we go, because everyone loves a bit of Bert and Ernie. Some linear. Few too many. Even I think I'm overstocked with the linear in there. Because as you just go down the tank, they get smaller and smaller. Oh, escaped bristlenose. More limia. Albino cories. Smaller. Egbert. And this is when you know that electric blue acara are chill. When the electric blue acara is surrounded by a shoal of baby limia. Hello, gorgeous. Yeah. Dozens and dozens and dozens of baby limia. We'll go around this way because this one's easy to get to as well. Howdy, Tamper Tom, the mad mower himself. Another heavily overstocked tank. The Shelly Dwellies and Neolampron Logus Similis. And yeah, babies everywhere in there as well. Down by the rock. Oh, Ricky's back. Bought 2 pints, drunk them all. But yeah, as I say, it's a dinky little filter, a sponge filter, whole bunch of snailies, and about 80 bristlenose. Similar in there, there's just more bristlenose. Getting tangled up. And then full spawns of bristlenoses in each of those. And that one is empty bar. There's one limia in there, but I can't. I say I can't catch. I can't be bothered to catch. Somewhere in there is a limia. It'll make itself known at some point. Where are you, Limlet? Rain or shine, the grass is going to get it. Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I think what it means is that they've drunk all the booze they had, and yeah, he drinks whiskey by the bottle. Yeah. As soon as I've got my money, I'm making a website. Brother-in-law is a site designer. Yeah, I hear good things about Squarespace, but you know, I think that's more aimed at people who haven't got a clue what they're doing, and you can just choose a template and then you just add pictures and words. Yeah, I know nothing because I don't need a website. Because if I had one, no one would ever visit it anyway. Ooh, got me a new 135-gallon plant pond, 5-foot circle, $5. It's a kiddie pool. Yes, exactly. It doesn't have to be. This is a fish tank. You can keep fish in it. This is not a fish tank. You can't keep fish in it. I've used all sorts of plastic totes and tubs and God knows what for keeping fish in. Bought this stupid rosé beer to drink soju with. Who drinks disgusting rosé beer? It's kind of like rosé wine. Neither one thing or the other. How do they make rosé wine? They mix half red and half white. How do they make red wine? They leave the skins of the grapes in it. Exactly. If it holds water, you can keep fish in it. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to have a brand name on it. Hell, it doesn't even need to be see-through. Yeah, it's. Most things will leach some kind of chemicals, whether they're dangerous or not. Once my shade awning built over all my plant ponds, all of them will have fish in them, not just one. Cool. And then the fish produce the poop, which feeds the plants, and they eat any nasties that get in there as well. So yeah. Oh, there's a random cat in the back garden. Psst, psst, psst. Yes, hello, fat cat. Right, saw me and ran away. Still haven't filled the 1,500-gallon pool for the Pacus, but I will soon. 1,500 gallon. Jeez. I think, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd be collecting rainwater because that's going to cost a fortune to fill if you're on a water meter. What's 1,500 gallon? I'm trying to do the. Yeah, it's probably, if you're in the UK, it probably costs you literally £100 to fill it. No, this isn't a here kitty kitty. Fat cat isn't a friendly cat. Well, he's friendly enough, but he doesn't get on well with Ginger or Pumpkin, so therefore he's the enemy. Because Ginger and Pumpkin are my friends. They get fusses and cuddles and all the good stuffs. So if a Fat Cat upsets them, I don't like Fat Cat. It's quite simple. Set up in the old office. Cool. Hopefully you've got a good strong floor in the office, Bob. TVA water bill on $60 or 64 cents. Yeah. My water bill is probably about the same with 15 per month. 5.6 thousand litres. Yeah. My pond in the back garden is nowhere near that big. Well, my pond is a tenth the size of that. It's 150 gallons. Just for rough maths. But anyway, my time is up. I'm sure there's someone else probably trying to go live. So thank you to everyone who showed up. Everyone who's been here chatting away. Thank you again very much, Mr. Bob, sir, for your super chat. Always appreciated. You know that, but I always say it anyway. But yes, thanks everyone for being here. Have a good week. Stay safe. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. And Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah. Boom. This stream is powering down.